that music.
He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat
Minute! Greetings, citizens of Gotham, and welcome once again to Bat Minute Returns, the show that you're probably listening to if you haven't got bigger fish. I've messed that up. The show that you're probably listening to if you haven't got bigger fish to fry. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
And I am the other host, Niall McGowan.
I don't know who to go first. And I'm Jonathan Howell from Minute Impossible.
And I'm Chris Ramirez from Minute Impossible as well.
And I like to wear skin-tight cat suits.
That's okay. I like to wear the black rubber, so I'm good.
Who doesn't like to wear that? I mean, that's me right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yes.
Every time, it's always a different story with you, Jonathan. Some days you're naked, some days you're in fetish gear. What is your broadcasting attire? Let's get to the bottom of this right now.
It's a Henley. A new shirt I got from Stitch Fix, who is not a sponsor of this show. And I am not wearing pants. So enjoy.
Okay. That's the traditional podcaster's attire then.
Yep.
Exactly.
Shirt,
the
no
uniform.
Pants. Winnie the Pooh.
Anyway, we are here to talk about minute 49, which might confuse you guys. Edit this bit out because the files are marked slightly differently. But we will roll with it. The minute starts with a surprise lift ride, and it ends with another shot of the monocle. Niall, it's back. We thought it didn't come back.
Oh, it's back, baby.
It's back. We genuinely were like, nope, you only see this monocle once. That's it. It's done. And then just a few minutes later, it's there, shoved in our face right again.
I love the monocle. It's such an impractical eyepiece. It's the best.
Yeah, we had a conversation about this. Like, what is the point? Like, what is the purpose? Don't you have to squint to keep it in?
Yeah, I've played with like toy monocles. Remember when you're a kid, you get one and you put it in, and you're like, oh, this sucks. You have to jam it into your eye meat on the top and the bottom, and you're like, well, this is not good. What is happening?
It's one of those things of like just wear the glasses. Like even if you only need it for one eye, just have the other lens be clear glass or whatever.
When does that ever happen? When is it ever just one eye?
One eye, exactly.
Yeah, that must be like 1% of the population, if that.
Well, it is the 1% who tends to be rich enough to wear monocles. So you never know.
Yes, it's a funny parallel. Everyone who's really is only have screwed up eyes in one eye. It's how the 1% live.
That's the sacrifice you must make.
So is it like supposed to be a reading monocle? Because you never see him wear it the rest of the movie. You're right. So is it like just a reading glasses thing?
Yeah, it's like cheaters. They're like cheaters, but for one eye.
For one eye only, yeah.
One eye.
I don't remember that Bond movie, but okay.
I can imagine too. He probably doesn't need it. He just found it. In like maybe even in Shrek's, flushed it down the toilet or whatever. The way he got all that other stuff. And he's just like, I can't imagine Oswald Cobblepot going to the opticians. So
I assume he just ate the other part. He just the other half. He just ate.
Why not?
This is what's left. My penguin is always going to sound like Burgess Meredith. So there is no other. I don't do a Danny DeVito penguin. It's only Burgess Meredith as the penguin.
I will say, though, I think you only get a little glimpse of him in this minute. But, speaking of returning things that we thought didn't come back, way in the background, you get another look at Geraldo, the Shrek Chihuahua that he had stuffed and put on top of that filing cabinet. It's like it was so long ago since we talked about Geraldo, but it's like I remember we went into a deep dive about that dog for it was like the guts of the episode was just talking about the dog.
Oh man, for a second I thought you were gonna say it's come back and we didn't think it was coming back. The elevator,
yay!
Hey,
the elevator
it's
is
a wood paneled elevator.
He's here all week.
And yes,
it's not. It's only here now.
And Selina is escorting Bruce away. He seems very interested in seeing her again. He's being quite forward, actually.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
Yeah, for Bruce Wayne, yeah, definitely in this series, he's very forward.
And then we get this is my favorite part right here at like I don't know second 9 is when he pulls a little Keaton, little funny Keaton. And he's like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at it's kind of like that from the first movie, like I'm Batman.
It's brilliant.
You know, we don't get that character much because mostly we get the let's get nuts version of Wayne. So I love Michael Keaton. Who doesn't?
He's a fantastic.
He's my favorite Batman.
I love it when he breaks and just becomes like goofy guy.
Yeah.
That's exactly the note I've got. He's turned almost into a goofy kid, is what I've written there.
Yeah, he's like Clark Kent. He Clark Kent's it right here. It's, for me, you guys love the Batmans. I'm a big Superman fan, especially the original one, the Richard Donner. And so his Clark Kent, Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent, that bumbling alter ego is, to me, actually, I think better than his portrayal of Superman. It's funny.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's funny. It's amazing. And I love it when good actors like Michael Keaton do it, like do the funny bit, and they just kind of switch characters. This is not who he's kind of created Bruce Wayne to be in these last two movies. So
do you think
it's always,
because we've said throughout these two films so far that he's kind of created Bruce Wayne as a persona, like he is Batman. That's his default person now, like that's who he is. But
I mean, as it comes up later in the film, he's at the masquerade party as
later in the
Bruce
film.
Wayne.
This is what happens when you watch the whole movie.
well, but do you think
but I'm sorry,
do you think maybe though that's the real Bruce coming out, that he's kind of tried to destroy and hide away? He doesn't want anything to do with the real Bruce. That doesn't exist anymore. But here it's coming out a little bit, I think.
I think Selina brings it out in him significantly, and anytime he's around her, he's like a completely different character when he's around her, and it's a great little thing that they pull to show off how enamored he is with her.
Do you think he thinks any levity in his life betrays the murder of his family? I think that he's always, that's his through line. It's like, I can't ever have fun because there are people out there that are miserable, and until I take care of it, I can never be happy. Whereas Superman's the opposite. I think Superman is Clark Kent, and he puts on the suit to be Superman. He is Clark Kent. Whereas I think Batman is Batman. And Bruce Wayne's been dead for years, and he just literally has to have this Bruce Wayne character that he has to interact with humans with.
Yeah. If he didn't have to pretend to be a normal man, he wouldn't ever do that.
He'd just stay in his basement.
I definitely think though that Christopher Reeve Clark Kent though, I always interpret that as been like a broadly comic, like it's almost like it's Kal-El satirizing humanity because he's so bumbling and he's so like, I don't know.
I mean, to me, he's always like as if Clark had only watched Bringing Up Baby as a kid, and that's what he thought was the cool version of an adult.
That's a Smallville theater does not provide a lot of stuff. It's just like,
to be fair, I mean, look at our characters. One's parents were shot in front of him in Crime Alley, and the other one was raised part of his life in a giant ice castle with Marlon Brando. So they're going to have warped views on what humanity is.
I do think, though, because of the dialogue in this, though, that this is genuine Bruce. Because
definitely.
It's just the way, though, because I do love that little. That's a genuinely funny little interchange where she's like, he's saying like, I'd like to hear it, and she's like, I'm listed, I'm interested, I'm working, and then as she's out of earshot, he's like, I'm leaving. Like he's not saying it to her to be funny. It's just like he is genuinely like, oh crap, I didn't realize at the elevator. It's that.
Do you think that he's so rich and he's so 1% that he doesn't know how to work an elevator?
Absolutely. That Alfred's there operating elevators for him.
Oh, do you think he's off camera right there next to the
he's hiding?
we did say during the Vichyssoise scene that like there's no elevator into the Batcave. Like there's a big massive load of stairs, and he's just like, I don't know how elevators work. I've got that chute inside the Iron Maiden. I've got these stairs. I can't get my head around an elevator. I don't know how it works.
All right, for the rest of the movie, let me know if he shows up ever in an elevator or works one. Because it looks like, as right now, as far as we know, he doesn't know how to work. I need proof the other way.
Yeah. I'm accepting as fact. It's canon now. He cannot operate an elevator unless we approved otherwise somewhere, which I don't think we are.
No, I don't recall any. But
You're right, because I think when he goes down the back cave, he never goes back up. He actually leaves. You know,
He never goes back up. It's always one way. And so he has to,
exactly.
He has to put on
He
the
always
suit
leaves as Batman. You know.
Yeah. He always has to shoot himself out of a tunnel into like water or fly or anything.
Yeah.
he has to get like all the climbing gear and just like go spelunking down into the cave and then crawl out through a crevice past a waterfall and walk over and all around the way to the front of the house again. He's like,
I assume Alfred has an elevator somewhere. He's decrepit, so he's got.
oh no, but that's what we're saying. There's visually you see him walking down about 1,000,000 stairs.
Yep.
It's like, why wouldn't he put in like a dumbwaiter for him at least, so he can get the food down easily? But like, no,
That's not nice. Don't call Alfred a dumbwaiter. How dare you?
Well, we've established as well, Bruce kind of, I don't think he's being nasty, but he doesn't sort of think about Alfred. He doesn't think about his well-being or anything to do with him. He just makes him do everything, and then that's it. Like, I'm not going to try and make his life easy. I don't care, whatever. He's doing his Alfred stuff. I don't know.
To be fair, though, all of Batman and Robin is him giving a crap about Alfred dying.
Well,
so,
yeah, he's at the beginning stages of his McGregor syndrome. So was that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
McGregor syndrome.
God, that's so stupid. Why is that in my brain?
It's the weird things that you can remember that stick around, isn't it? Like, I can't remember anything useful, but I can still remember the layout to every level of the game Doom for no reason.
Are there any elevators in that game?
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, all over the place.
I don't know if we mentioned before, but like I'll bring it up again just in case. But it should be noted that apparently Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Keaton had dated previous to this film, and apparently that she was offered the role of Vicky Vale, but turned it down because she thought it would have been awkward because of the fact that they were a couple. And then the fate kind of comes. There you go. Now they've got nice chemistry now because they were a couple, I guess. And that now it's like, she got the role of a lifetime.
Hollywood went to her and said, "Look, there's only 3 blondes. You're the second one. So next is Meg Ryan. That's all we got."
Really don't want Sean Young to get this part. Okay,
we really don't want Sean Young.
Oh no, Sean, we love you.
Although I did do a little bit of research, and I found out I was quite surprised, actually. I'll try to check the ages here, because at this point in his life, apparently, according to like the tabloids of the time, Michael Keaton was dating Courtney Cox at this moment. And it's like, was she not like way younger than him as well? Because she was like, this would have been pre-Friends. So
she was in her mid to late 20s when I think this came out.
Yeah, so
because when she did Friends, I think she was already like 29, 30 by the time she started
That's
Friends.
Hollywood, baby.
So she'd be 60. She was born in 1964, so she would have been 28, but in 92. Keaton he's 51. That's not actually that big a difference. It's it's only a 10 years. That's not too bad, actually. I was really thinking it was going to be like, a bit of Cradle Robin going on there.
I think it's in our mind, Batman Begins, at least in my mind, I had to keep being reminded this is from the 90s and not from the 80s.
Yeah.
It feels like it's like 19. I know that first one came out in what, 88?
89.
89? Yeah. In my mind, this is also from 89 somehow.
No, I agree.
And I look at it, I'm like, 92. I'm like, man, 92.
I remember it distinctly because it was one of the last movies I saw before I went to SMU for the first time. So that's why I remember it. And it was the first movie I saw in Dallas once I got to SMU, because I saw it at North Park out there. So that's why I remember it very well.
Sorry, local references.
Hey, we like
Dallas.
Dallas.
SMU in Dallas.
It's where we went to college. We met each other.
Yeah, that's when we went to college.
Okay.
But he's a year ahead of me.
Well, it feels kind of 80s to me as well. And I don't mean that in a bad way, in an insulting way. I mean, most of my favorite films from the 80s. Definitely. But it does. It doesn't feel quite 90s yet. It hasn't got there.
Well, the theory being that the 90s really doesn't start until like the midway through the 90s. Yeah. You're still kind of in the 80s and the early 90s,
I think that's right.
It seems to be like 94. It's just like, as soon as they get to 94, it's just like, Jim Carrey's a thing. What do you know? And it's like, OJ happened. All this, like, everything you think with the 90s just erupts in 94 out of nowhere.
That was the death of the 80s.
like, there was a couple of years, too.
Yeah, I was watching Hunt for Red October with my son yesterday, and that's from 1990. But all the clothes they wear and the glasses, like the glasses that they all wear on the subs, are giant Harry Carey 80s glasses.
Well, it's also because that was shot in 88.
Yeah,
and it was supposed to come out in 89, but then it got moved to 90. So, yeah, exactly.
My son looks at it and goes, "Why does this look so old?" I go, "It's really not. I mean, it's from the 90s in theory."
Well, that's something people get wrong when they make movies and shows and stuff sometimes is if it's set, say, in the 80s, they'll put everyone in stereotypical, cheesy 80s clothes, things you think of as the 80s. But it'll be in, 82 or something. And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense because they wouldn't have come in until a bit later. And also...
Yeah, they'd still be wearing 70s clothes.
Yeah, they'd be wearing 70s clothes. And also, it would only be like the hip young kids wearing these outfits. Like,
yeah, don't get me started on the Goldbergs. He's always wearing a T-shirt. Like, he had a T-shirt on for Space Camp, the movie. And I'm like, if there had been a Space Camp, the movie T-shirt, I would have owned it.
You would have had it, yeah.
There was no T-shirt for these things that he's wearing.
Yeah.
Like the Dark Crystal. I'm like, there are no Dark Crystal T-shirts in 1984. There aren't.
There's probably millions now if you just go on Redbubble or something.
Yeah, all of our nostalgia is available for us. But then it's like, I'm like, no.
Yeah, they don't get it, and they dress like the older characters too, like of that period as well. Like people's parents would be probably still dressing quite 70s if it's set in the 80s. But give them 80s clothes.
Big lapels. Yeah.
I think like back then when I was a kid, like you just had to wear, not even when I was a kid, even when I was a teenager, before the real advent of like everyone has the internet. You can get whatever T-shirt you want from anywhere at any given moment, and it can be at your house within a week. And like I remember, I used to just have T-shirts for like films that I didn't even particularly wasn't even all that fussed by because it's just like, well, it was available. I used to have like a T-shirt for Kill Bill Volume 1. Don't particularly like Kill Bill, but I wore that T-shirt to death. And I was just like, well, it was there. It was a close. I mean, I kind of like the movie, so it's okay.
Well, I remember in 88, before Batman came out, the first one, trying to find a Batman shirt was like ridiculous. I couldn't find anyone where I lived in South Texas, but I came up to Dallas and I remember seeing a Batman shirt and I had to buy one in anticipation of the movie coming out almost a year later.
I had one
and then of course a year later it was everywhere.
Yeah. I had one that was like a knockoff because the chest piece was just a slightly to the left.
Oh,
like so when I put it on, I'd be like, "Am I wearing this sideways?" And I'd be like, "No, it just sucks. It's just a crappy screen print.
It's just a crappy shirt."
This is back when they used to make fun of you for wearing shirts like that. I distinctly remember I was going on a trip and I had on my Batman shirt. And we were going on a trip with a girls' school. I went to a co-ed school, but it was mostly boys going on this trip. We were going to Europe, and we were getting to the airport, and the girls just met us. And one of the girls walked up to me and went na 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 dork, and walked away. And I was like, oh.
Now it's cool to be a dork.
This is like I was like 15. This is like the formative years of talking to girls. And I was just like,
oh man,
she destroyed me.
Yeah. Now you'd be like, oh, hey, how's your shirt? I like your shirt. That's the thing nowadays. But you're right. Back then, it was like, you're such a dork.
I think it was. So it was before the rise of the geek.
Yeah.
Excuse me, man. I'm just gonna write down that insult to use later. And, next time I see someone in a Batman shirt,
it's really long, so you gotta
commit.
The whole thing. It's the whole phrase.
Well, I mean, the thing is that like when in the early '80s, when we had the T-shirts for movies, there was those weird iron-on prints that they would have. Like, I remember my Star Wars shirts, and it was like a iron-on photo of Mark Hamill in like his Empire outfit, and I was like, oh, that was cool. And then now you look back at it and you're like, God, I was a dork.
And it would usually, at least the ones I got, usually be destroyed after about 3 washes because it would start just peeling off.
Yep, they'd start breaking apart. Yeah.
Also, it's so flammable.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've gone on fire so many times.
Well, speaking of clothes, to get back to this, I do want to talk about the Shreks and their awesome.
Oh yes,
clothes.
They're awesome outfits. Yeah, those are great outfits.
We were talking about Max's,
Speaking of 80s.
especially. Like that is my favorite suit I think ever.
Yeah.
I would own that now.
Yes,
and wear it.
It's a pretty cool
with
suit.
gloves, inexplicably with black gloves.
Yeah.
And the popped up collar of the tuck shirt, that's a look.
Yeah, that you need a lot of balls to pull out. Jeez, no. you need a lot of balls to pull that
Freudian
off.
slip there.
That's just John's philosophy in life in general. You need a lot of balls to pull out. It's like,
Leave that in, Niall, please.
Real men stay in.
No, to rock that collar, you need to have a lot of confidence.
I do wonder as well, though, is this the same? Does he just have a cigar in every pocket of every suit? Or does he, is it like at the end of the day, he finally smokes this friggin' cigar he's been carrying about? So we've seen it in a couple of different outfits, and that cigar, or a cigar, is omnipresent. It's always on his person.
A cigar. I saw. I went up to like some high rise here in Chicago, and some bigwig, a lawyer, walked in. He literally looked like Max Shrek the way he was dressed, just a fat Max Shrek, and he had cigars in his pocket lapel. And I was just like, hell yeah, that guy knows what's going on. He's probably going to go to his office and stank up his entire office. He's probably had the same assistant for 35 years. He's probably been a lawyer forever. So it's just, I think if these guys I think to him that's like hand sanitizer. He just, whenever he has a moment, he will use it.
Yeah. I thought like maybe walking himself, though. He had a whole backstory. It's like, no, it's the same cigar.
Is he ever smoking it in this movie?
No, you never see him.
No.
Never see him light it up. I would love, though, if Walking Dead had a whole thing. It's like, no, the character he's eternally carrying this one cigar. He's waiting for some life goal to achieve or something before he smokes it. And then, like, at the very end, when Selina Kyle is, like, electrocuting him, you just see him take out the cigar and try to light it up quickly. Like, no! I'll get one puff
No, I think
die.
when he's getting electrocuted, the cigar should just ignite and start smoking of its own.
Oh, yeah. That'd be nice. Like the tip just starts... That'd be awesome.
That was a thing that, like, Walken was pitching to Tim Burton, and Tim the whole time was like, oh, they'll definitely do it, Chris. Don't worry about it. And then as soon as his back was turned, it's like, what the f*** are you talking about? This stupid cigar joke he wants to do? This is crazy. So I'm going to waste money trying to get that.
I like as well here, we got Chip and his dad. Well, Chip is not buying Selina's story at all here, is he? He's not even remotely falling for it. He thinks she's playing them, which she is, basically. She hasn't lost her memory.
But then we're let in here the fact that because all mention of Chip being privy to the fact that Max Shrek attempted to kill Selina Kyle is all in the other drafts where they literally have him either be in the scene or have just witnessed the scene and stuff.
Yeah. Did he tell him? Does he? He must have told him off screen, right?
Yeah.
If you take the film as itself, it's just like, I guess he just like, oh, son, let me tell you what I got up to tonight. Just
how was work, Dad?
Oh. Well. I had to throw a secretary out the window. Like, it was Tuesday.
Didn't get to smoke my cigar again. Had to murder someone again.
You would think he would smoke the cigar after killing her, though.
Oh, that would have been a great scene, actually. That would have been really good. And you just see him from her point of view. She's like looking up, and then it's up. The camera moves up, and you just see him from below. Like smoking.
Yeah,
it'd be like that bit in like the Hudsucker proxy. The guy jumps out the window, and then like Paul Newman goes over and like starts smoking his cigar, and like, oh, damn shame the voice of Monte Cristo. But,
have you guys talked about Chip, the actor Andrew?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He turned out to not be that nice a guy.
Yeah, that sucks. His favorite movie I saw him in was Hudson Hawk. He's Butterfinger. You guys ever seen Hudson Hawk?
I do not like Hudson Hawk. I have seen it.
One of my favorite movies.
It's okay.
No, I've always liked it.
I do wonder, though, you're saying, but he was in Hudson Hawk, because Dan Waters also wrote Hudson Hawk. So I wonder if him and Andy, were they like buddies after this movie or something? Like they met on set and he's like, oh, I'll try to get you in my next
definitely
project.
not, he's cast against type. This is not who I would have as Shrek's kid. I would have as Shrek's kid the guy who's now playing Penguin on Gotham.
Yeah.
That to me is Max Shrek's child.
It'd be kind of like the way they did Harry Osborn in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it's like, instead of like the handsome, dashing James Franco, it's like, no, he's a really dweeby, weak kid who's just like, it'd be like, you imagine his father would be easily disappointed in him and stuff. But
well, we get a great line from him, so I'm glad for that. It's one of my favorite lines with the...
it's a great line.
I don't know whether I should say it, because I can't do an impression. Niall, you're good at the impression. It's the one about the fish.
Oh yeah. Although even before that though, like I was stunned that we get a little insight to the past of Max Shrek. Because he's saying like, the fact that like Chip's like, oh, you believe this blurry business? I'm like, oh, women. Nothing surprises me, Chip, except your late mother. And it's like, oh, who married Max Shrek? Like, who was she?
What does that mean?
Yeah. And plus she's dead.
Yeah,
So
did
it's
he
like,
push her out a window too, though?
Nothing surprises me, Chip, except the only woman I've ever been around. What are you talking about?
Maybe that's why he liked her, though. Maybe that's why he fell for this character who you don't see, because she kept him on his toes. It's one of those
He
relationships.
straight up murdered her, though, right? He murdered her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he murdered his wife. Definitely.
I would
100%.
assume, but it's not really mentioned actually. Is it in any of the drafts, Niall? I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it's ever brought up. I can imagine them actually having like. Again, it's been ruined now because of Kevin Spacey. But I'd imagine maybe they had a kind of like Frank and Claire in House of Cards kind of relationship.
That's what I
where,
thought.
Like, they were both nefarious, and then the fact that she surprised him was like maybe she tried to kill Max Shrek first, and he's like, oh wait a minute, that was the thing that shook him. Then he had her offed, and that's
Maybe
the
the
one
fact
thing.
that her
Like,
child was a 9-foot tall behemoth. She's like, oh wait, maybe she cheated on me. And Chip is not my biological child.
we did actually have an email from one of our frequent listeners, who just goes by Lawrence the Goon, and he actually posited the theory I thought was pretty good, where we were talking about the fact you see on Max Shrek's Wall of Fame, the people he's met, one of them is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and we're like, oh, he must be playing like Victor Fries. We could pretend.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like he was like, what if Victor Fries had an affair with Max Shrek's wife? And that's who Chip Shrek is, because he looks so much like Arnie.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'll take it. Like, I 100% would buy into that theory. It's like, might as well
That's
just
a good
make
theory.
Yeah, just make it canon.
Real men don't pull out.
Oh God.
It would be great though. Like, it had a scene like the Shreks find this out, and then like every once in a while, Chip will go stay with his real dad, and he'll come back just speaking in an Arnie voice for a bit, and he'll slowly transform back into the walking accent.
And puns. Just tons of ice puns for no reason. Why does he have ice puns? He's not even.
Why not?
Is it because his name's Freeze? I mean, that's the only thing about cold that's going on with him currently. But he's really laying into these cold puns. I don't get what the. It's like he's building up to some sort of thing that might happen to him later.
And is our second reference to the McGregor syndrome?
Let's go for a
his wife's
third
sick?
one. But yeah,
But I did actually look in a little bit though, because like, oh, who was married to Max Shrek? And I was like, oh, what's Chris Walken's dating history? Has he got any scandal?
Well, yeah, he has kind of a scandal.
Oh yeah, we've reluctantly brought that up, and we never know quite how to approach that topic.
Oh, but it comes up again here though, because it's like, well, the thing is, he's been married since 1969 to the same woman, who's Georgianne Walken, and apparently, for all we can tell, they have a pretty good relationship. She's actually a casting agent. She worked on like The Sopranos and Entourage.
Yeah.
And she met Chris. I thought she met Chris, but no, she wouldn't have met him because it was 20 years after they were married. But they worked together on the movie Brainstorm, which of course has Christopher Walken starring with Natalie Wood. And then one of the more scandalous elements, and people who know me just know I love a bit of scandal, is that if you look into Chris Walken's dating history, there's an actor who tragically died in the late 80s called Robert Letourneau, who alleges that he had a relationship with Christopher Walken, had an affair with him.
Oh.
And he actually says in his autobiography, but he said somewhere that, oh no, it's just in an interview, sorry, for a gay magazine. He named a couple of people, and then he said that Chris Walken was actually having an affair with Robert Wagner,
Yes.
who of course was on the boat the night that Natalie Wood died.
I've heard that.
That's
It's
what
like-
we've always thought. I've always heard that.
Yeah.
That was what was going, because he was just strange on the side. That literally he brought him on the boat with her, and then something happened.
Yes,
Allegedly.
I like the way nobody really has even an alibi. Just like, oh, she must have just gone over the side. It's like,
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
rich white
She-
people. Rich white
She didn't
people
happen to
don't need
catch them
alibis.
in
She's like,
the middle of something.
he's like, I don't know what happened. Oh, good.
That's
Oh,
fine.
Well, he's white, rich. It all checks out. Let's move on.
Yep.
But the thing is that, like, we could, the way we're letting it look things keep turning up about this Natalie Wood murder throughout this podcast. I say murder, Natalie
You just
Wood
called it a
death.
murder. I love
Don't
it.
call it
Allegedly.
that.
But I could imagine like me and John end up after this, we'd make go to Netflix with like, we have a documentary what we want to make that's just like Making a Murderer, but it's all about Chris Walken and Natalie Wood.
We'll sell Bat-Minute to Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, I mean,
exactly.
have you looked into podcasts? I mean, people like to listen to them when they're out and about, but you could just sit and watch a black screen. A black screen while nothing's happening on it.
Hey, I put our show
we're
on
talking.
YouTube, and apparently there's at least a couple of people who do listen to it that way. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Thank you for doing it, but like, come on.
But yeah, sorry about that little tangent, John, because you were leading up into which is, in fact, a great line.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Shrek delivers of the she tries to blackmail me, I'll throw her out a higher window. Meanwhile, I got better fish to fry. And the thing is, it's one of those weird deliveries by Walken where it kind of sounds like he says, "I always thought it was bigger fish to fry."
Yes, same.
Apparently he's saying better fish to fry, which is wrong.
Yeah, 'cause it
For
is
one.
bigger fish, right? That is the actual phrase.
Yeah, totally. And the thing is, too, it kind of sounds like he says, "I've got battered fish to fry." He's just like,
Yeah,
I'm making dinner.
It's that famous line from Star Wars, Clone Wars. There's always a better fish.
That was Fathom Menace, man. Come on.
Oh,
Oh.
You've ruined the podcast.
Like, wrap it up. Come on, we have to just go now. We can't carry on.
I will say though, like, the whole idea, like, oh, Max Shrek is just going to make dinner. So it's like, I've got battered fish to fry. It's like, oh, that sounds pretty nice. It brought up an old memory that I remember seeing years ago. That's a magazine in the UK called Hot Dog, which was a great movie magazine that went defunct a couple of years later.
And it was the previous mayor of Gotham's favorite magazine, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. But they were petitioning to have Chris Walken host a cooking show. They really, really were into this. And apparently, if you look into him, Chris Walken is like a hell of a chef, apparently.
Oh yeah, he's wanted to host a cooking show for like ever, and I think they did like one thing for him, like he did an episode or something.
He did. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's weird thing is it's Funny or Die. You can get the episode on YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's not even like a comedy thing. It's more like, yeah, this would be a good show.
can you
Yeah,
imagine
no.
him on with like the barefoot Contessa or Rachel Ray?
Well,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Bizarre it'd be.
It's weird. It's him and Richard Belson from Law and Order.
What?
Making chicken with pears.
Richard Belzer?
Well, sorry,
Yeah.
my mistake.
Oh my God! So they doubled down on weird. They went with
Oh yeah.
the other weirdest person, which is Bells.
But it's like it's them going. They go out out to the store together, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, make sure to get some lemons and all this kind of stuff." And then you see them go to like a petting zoo, but the entire time they're accompanied by these silent women who are kind of like the background band in the Addicted to Love video. They're all just dressed in identical black like leotards and stuff. And yeah, it's Chris and Richard making chicken with pears, and it just seems like he really knows what he's doing. And then from looking into that, though, I've discovered a hell of a great interview from 2001 where with the Guardian, where apparently Chris Walken just made dinner for the guy interviewing him. And it's just one of these things that, like, the whole thing is just like it's just Walken gold. You're getting loads of info about him. Like he's saying apparently because his father was a baker his entire life, and he used to work in the bakery with him besides doing all the show business stuff because he's a child actor as well. But they talk about like it goes into stuff about it because of the amount of sweet stuff and the constant barrage of the sugar smell. He'd never eat sugar now because he hates it so much.
Oh.
He's talking about like the fact that he puts like molasses in his coffee instead of sugar and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That might actually be nice. I'm going to try that.
Oh yeah. Honey's always good. Honey, molasses, all that stuff.
Well, I don't know if you really get molasses over here. It's a very American thing. Can you? I've never had it, I don't think.
You can get it. It's just you'd never have cause to buy it. That's the thing. Like, what do you do with it?
Oh yeah, it travels. It's like honey. It's like you just put it in a can. It's all good.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
a jar.
Yeah, plus you have to go in front of the judge in the morning to show cause. So that's a little Godfather Minute reference there for anyone who's a fan of that. But but you go into random tangents. So we're just like, I'll actually put a link to the whole interview with like the episode notes or just on when this airs, because it just go into like a little tangent of like, my father likes that German food. He used to drink sauerkraut juice. Ugh. He's 97 years old and he eats this incredibly high cholesterol stuff. All those big sausages. He eats knockwurst and washes it down with beer. And he eats head cheese, which is basically like big chunks of gelatin made into a loaf. It's like eating solid fat. And he's a skinny guy. My cholesterol is good. Every time I go to the doctor, he swoons in ecstasy over my blood pressure. See, I've got some incredible blood pressure. When I was a kid, I'd pass out sometimes because I'd get, real slow. The blood, but when you get older, that's good. He's just going, I don't know what question even prompted that. He's just coming out with it.
He just goes off on a 45-minute rant. It's a bit like Tommy Wiseau or something. Like, just starts not answering the question and talking about what he wants to.
In a weird accent.
He describes in detail how to make donuts. At one point, he's all talking about like, you just stick those needle things in them, and you push the plunger down, and you fill them up, and there's a little dribble of jelly on the end. Actually, it's rather sensual. It's like, what the? Brandon Walken's like, he's got a thing. He's got a thing for donuts. It would appear.
Sensual donuts. Ooh yeah.
There's a store right there for you. Sensual donuts.
And then we see after this.
I mean, they do have a hole in them.
We see a sensual character in a way, because it cuts to the Penguin.
The most sensual of all.
He likes to think he is. Well, actually, first you technically see a few shots of Gotham, but whatever. We've talked about that. So then you see the Penguin with his monocle on, wrong once again,
with his quill.
Yeah.
On the streets of Gotham, you get to see the shop, which is obviously the counterpart to the hotel from the '89 movie. It is just like Red Dwarf when there's like, just put like beer on the can or lager or whatever.
They do that on TV. I don't know if it's just an English thing. Whenever someone goes into a pub on a TV show, they just say, "I'll have a pint." Like, they don't say what they want. So there was a good comedy show once where they made fun of that, because the guy goes in and he's like, "I'll have a pint of unspecific."
That's even like, though, in American shows, it's always, "I'll have a beer." Like,
or cola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just saying, John, you get seeing the Penguin scribbling away there as per usual.
Yeah, it's weird that
with his monocle.
It's weird we see him scribbling away like constantly throughout this. Like, you see it so many times. Like, nobody at any point it really questions what he's doing at this point in the movie, because he just wants to find his parents, right? He's found them. Okay, what more is he doing?
Yeah,
he seems to still be investigating his family or something. I know he's not, but that's what it must look like. It's like, well, can we help you? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think I've got a theory, but I think it's more into the next minute. Oh, so it's like I might leave that for then. But I do enjoy this because, again, we've talked a couple of times about the long shots in this movie. Like, it's actually quite. It goes at its own pace, really. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Chris, is this a split diopter shot?
It is a split diopter shot. I was about to say. It's a quite good one, too.
The Penguin and the stairs are in focus.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look in the middle, there's a little haze around that pole.
Yeah. And the paperwork as well.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Actually, I never noticed that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because
we're big on split diopters.
We are very big on the split diopter.
Yeah, definitely, too, because you see, Shrek's in focus, but then the phone is completely blurry, and then the Penguin is 100% in focus as well.
It's great. It looks like an effect, but it really is in camera, which is amazing.
Oh, cool. I do enjoy, like, I appreciate the Penguin's reaction here, though, because, Max shouts out, like, Oswald, says to let him know that he's there. And the Penguin just sits for like about 20 seconds. Just the eyes kind of go up, and he just sits in silence. Was kind of like, it reminds me of like whenever I get a phone call from a number I don't recognize, I just completely stop everything and just sit and stare at the phone until it stops ringing.
Speaking of which, he has a phone on his desk. Who is calling the Penguin? Who has this number? Who is he calling? I have so many questions about just this phone.
In the finished movie, right? I agree. I don't understand why it's there. In the strict revised draft, that phone gets used. Oh. It's not very exciting, but the phone gets used because instead of coming round to speak to him, Max calls that phone, and they have this conversation on the phone.
and the phone.
But I think visually though, can you imagine if this was a phone call with like a diagonal split in the screen?
Yeah.
You see Max Shrek on one side and him on the other. It would be stupid.
I would love that, but it wouldn't fit this.
It would be so stupid.
Of course, you could have had Max
phone.
petting his stuffed chihuahua while he was talking to him.
Just like no one can look really like a hard ass drinking out of a straw. No one looks cool on a handheld phone, on a real phone, like an old timey, I guess be old fashioned phone now. No one looks cool. Like, can you imagine like the terror of the penguin on a phone? It's not scary.
Actually, him holding it with his flippers would be the fun part.
No, it's unsettling. Yeah, it's funny. It's not scary. I think he's still supposed to be this scary character.
Yeah, somehow he looks scary doing paperwork though. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, because he's got a creepy quill that witches use, and he's so greasy. Just gross.
Yeah.
That's the fact that, again, too, this is all stuff more for the next minute, but it's the fact that it's so quiet up there, and you just hear the of the quill the whole time. I think that, again, going to be a reveal in a minute that there's other people there. It's like, geez, that would drive me nuts if you just had to sit in silence, listening to that scratching the whole friggin' time.
In the Strick draft again, well, his revision of the draft, it's the same. There are more people in this room, but it doesn't have that element to it. They're all roughhousing and fighting and messing around and making loads of noise. I prefer this. This is creepier to me that he's just sat
it's
silent.
much creepier. Yeah, next minute we'll talk about all of them. Look, right now you don't know how creepy this is. Right now it's a 4 out of 10.
Why do you think
it's about to be 10 out of 10 creepy?
It's going to get ratcheted up big time in the next minute, though. Good Lord.
Let's just imagine though, Tim Burton actually had them do that for a while, and it just got the sets were getting destroyed and everything, and he's like, all right, everyone just sit down, you just sit there quietly and you all shut up, okay? Right, we're doing this scene, we're doing it one take, and that's the end of that.
And it worked. See, I think the look on the penguin's face here as well, this might just be my interpretation, I think he looks a little worried. I think he looks a little scared, he thinks what is Max doing here? He's going to see what I'm up to. He's going to come over. He's going to look at the papers. He's going to figure something out.
He's going to try and use my phone.
He's going to use the phone. He'll realize it's not hooked up to anything.
Yeah, I've got a theory. So it all ties into that, baby.
Because he doesn't seem to want Max to come round. He doesn't want any. No. He'll deal with him in his own time. He doesn't. This is nothing to do with this separate thing he's doing.
Yeah. But again, it's all next minute. So should we? We're just edging into that conversation. It's like, should we end this one abruptly and then be like, right, let's go on, so we can actually talk about what's going on in this scene.
We will head off into the dark, dark night. Would you like to tell our listeners where they can find you and your wonderful show online and whatnot?
Sure. We're the Minute Impossible crew, Chris and I. We break down the movie Mission Impossible 1 minute at a time. We finished the first movie, so there's 110 episodes for that. We also talked about Fallout, the most recent Mission Impossible movie. And right now we're in the middle of pre-production. We're not pre-production. We are in the middle of producing episodes. We'll be coming out probably in the winter, more in the winter. We don't really have a date yet. We have a saying around here, 60 episodes before we drop. So we got to have 60 episodes in the can before we're going to drop.
That's definitely a smart plan. I back this.
It worked last time. It's going to work this time. That's just how we go. If you like Mission Impossible movies, spy movies, come on over to minuteimpossible.com or find us on Twitter at minimpossible, MIN Impossible.
I think we were we had 30 minutes for this movie. We had a good half hour. I think it was 10 weeks, so it would have been 30. But
because you do it three days a week.
But do make sure to check out that podcast because it's great. And I really like that first Mission Impossible as well. Completely different movie to the rest of them. Obviously, it's barely the same franchise. I think.
Well, it's the first one's a true 80s spy movie.
Yeah,
like an intrigue. Second one is
bananas.
Crazy.
That second one came out at the perfect time in my life, though. I was the right age to find that mind-blowing, that movie. I'm sure if I went back now, I would hate it, but it even had the soundtrack that I liked. It was all the nu metal bands that were hip
I remember
Smash Mouth.
John with his soul patch and his backwards red cap and the Jenko jeans.
Hey, I did have Jinko
yeah.
jeans, and I was a Limp Bizkit fan. So there you go.
I'm going to open myself up now to, like, you know, I've kept this. This is my secret shame.
Oh my
I've
God.
only ever seen the first Mission Impossible movie and the third one, and I've never watched any of the rest of them.
Oh.
And it was very much just because I didn't really care for the first one, and I only watched the third one because I liked Michelle Monaghan from Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I was like, oh, she's in it. She must be given loads to do. And nope.
No.
and then the rest of it, I was just like, oh, who cares? Like, I feel bad saying that to you guys, but I was very much like, oh, man, I can go without watching Mission Impossible movies. And it seems that these last two, it's like, these are f***ing incredible. How can you not have seen them?
Yeah, I think you would like the new ones.
4, 5, and 6 are probably some of the best.
Yeah. So I feel now like, oh, I'm going to have to go and actually do a deep dive with Mission Impossible here to catch up with people. But...
Well, it's a bit like my the way I view. You're probably all going to laugh at me, of course, and that's fair enough. But the way I view the Fast and Furious movies, the way they just get better and crazier as they go on. Like the first couple are like trying to be serious racer movies. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. And then by this point, you've got like they're fighting a nuclear submarine in cars, and The Rock is pushing torpedoes with his bare hands to get them out of the way. It's incredible.
Yeah, at one point we talk about it all the time.
all the
because I'm a
time.
huge. Chris hates it. I'm a huge Fast and Furious fan.
Brilliant.
And I will always.
I don't hate it. I just haven't watched them.
And I will always say they were going for something. It was terrible. They changed it up and they made it so bonkers crazy now that people are like, yeah, now I'm good with it.
Yeah.
You've gone beyond. I actually have a still shot. I have a still shot from 4 where the movies went off the rails. It's the moment when Letty is okay. I'll just explain this real quick. Letty is on a tank. Okay.
Oh, I know which
driving
bit
down
it
the
is.
road.
Yes.
And the bad guy hits the brakes on the tank, and she goes flying off. Vin Diesel's driving a car on another bridge, and he swerves toward her, jumps out of his own car, smashes it so he flies out, grabs her in midair, and throws her and lands with using his own body to shield her into a car. And I just went, well, that's it. That's where the movies went insane.
And it was beautiful.
Because that is impossible. And I love it.
Oh, my God.
Best part of the movie.
It is the saga of a franchise that went from like Vin Diesel rejecting it to like coming back around to like Charlize Theron wants to be in a Fast and Furious movie. Like Oscar
Dame
winning.
Judi Dench is in a Fast and Furious movie.
And now Vin Diesel can't get enough of them. Like he's come crawling back. It's
Oh,
like,
and they are wonderful.
It was in a weird world where every person in those movies was a big star in the first one and all failed.
Yeah.
And didn't come back for the second one. All failed in their careers and came back for the third one. And then now
Crawling back.
every one of them, you'd never see that. At least one of them usually breaks out. But even Vin Diesel would tell you he probably wouldn't tell you this because he's insane. But he definitely did not go where he thought he was going to go afterwards.
No. Especially because
But
he
now-
is quite he's an intelligent guy. He wanted to be quite a serious actor in some ways. And
I think he wanted
that
to be a
didn't work.
writer originally. Like he went to Hollywood.
Yeah,
to
he was a
write.
director.
Yeah.
He went to Sundance with his with his film.
I mean, can you imagine? But when you have a voice that sounds like a thunderstorm, you're not going to be taken seriously. Also, I don't think he has the depth. I truly don't.
Oh, but someone needs to make a Fast and Furious minute by minute. But what
It's
I want,
bound to be coming. It's
I
gotta
want
be
someone
coming,
to make
like,
fun of it, coupled with a co-host who knows about cars. Because I know nothing about cars. That's not why I watch them. But you need that in there for the people who care, like especially for the first 3 films. Yeah. But anyway, we'll wrap this minute up. If you want to get in touch with us, we're on Facebook at the Bat Minute Listeners Cave. We're on Twitter at Bat Minute. We've got an Instagram. There's a Tumblr, apparently. I can't remember. Do we? It's there. It exists. If you message me, I'll get the notification, so I will actually go on it. I don't use it, though. There's no point. Nobody uses Tumblr except for, like, fanfic. And there's no Bat Minute fanfic. If you want to write fanfic about me or Niall, feel free. Do it. And
Hey,
post it.
we've not been on the Tumblr. For all we know, there's loads of Batman fanfic.
There could be, yeah. There could be some great artworks of us and Batman, up to all kinds. But yes,
Draw a picture of John wearing a pair of Jinkos.
that would be fantastic as well. That'd be great. Or Batman in Jinkos. I would also go for that. So get in touch with us, and we will see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Next time, a cod among men. Max's mission, should he choose to accept it, is to transverse Atelier lounging Burks and other big top jerks who may be berserk. But will the guppy-toting yuppie promising a piscine perk procure the participation of a Pollock-primed perp? This podcast will self-destruct if you do not tune in next time. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.